And welcome back to In the Closet. You know,
Oh yeah, that's
it's
true. We are in the closet today.
yeah, it's almost that special month of the year where we honor our favorite men and women in Netflix shows.
Yeah, like P Diddy, right?
I don't think the community would like you picking P Diddy, but yeah, no, we have a special guest today. We have the one and only
Mickey Mouse,
yeah, also known as the original P Diddy.
of course.
You know,
You see
like
how many
it ain't no
kids he touched at
there ain't
Disney?
no party like a Diddy party. Well, the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Imagine what goes on in there.
Exactly. Shit, you ain't seen a Mickey party yet.
So, in honor of the recent everything, Pill has decided that today he is Pity.
Yes, my name is Pity.
So, Pity, tell me, what's today's soap of the day?
Well, Tragic, we got a very special soap of the day today, and you know what? I can actually plug a sponsor that doesn't exist because it'll fit with the theme of this episode. So today's soap is brought to us by Johnson & Johnson, a company that we should all probably respect a lot more, wouldn't you say? A lot of corporations you think we should be respecting a lot more than we really do. People are always kind of harsh on big corporations, especially when they make minor oopsies that leads to, like, the death of thousands. But come on, it's just a human mistake, am I
Like,
right?
do you know how hard it is to be big? Also, it's funny how you sound like you're reading off a script, even though we literally didn't even know what we were talking about until like 10 seconds ago.
It's because we're professionals.
Yeah, we're professional. That's why I'm opening a blowtorch that I just ordered while doing the podcast.
Is that related to the huge shipment of crosses you just ordered to your house?
You ask a lot of questions for someone in punching distance.
How do I get out of this closet?
But anyway, so yeah, today we're going to be talking about. Ooh, I have flux. So today we're going to be talking about corporations, and today we're going to be a bootlicking. You know, I'm a little hungry. I need a little chewiness. I ran out of gum, but boots great for chewing.
Now, if you ask me though, bootlicking is kind of an unnecessarily harsh slur to call what we're doing, wouldn't you say?
I have a syringe. Yeah, I would say that too, for sure.
Yeah, because like think about it. I'm just being a compassionate, considerate, and fair person. Like, come on. So, like, give me an example of a very well hated company.
Let's go with Nestle. You know, Nestle's never done
That's
anything wrong to minorities or third world countries, or the
okay.
general chemistry and nutritional value of babies, where they make their baby formula so addictive that babies are literally physically unable to breastfeed afterward because they can only drink formula. And when they went to third world countries on charity missions, they would hand out samples of this to women, and then when they didn't know what it was, they would feed it to the babies directly without explaining what it was. And then when they left, the babies would be unable to breastfeed, and they would call back the corner and say, "Oh, what happened?" And then they would be like, "Oh, well, once you start breastfeeding, you got to keep breastfeeding them." And then they have to buy Nestle from this third world country.
Okay,
They've
but
never
like,
done anything like that.
yeah, but like, and even if they did do something like that, think about it. If it did, like, think of all the good Nestle has done for the important people in society. You know, us
Like
first worlders,
like trick or
and see
treating.
that in this, yeah, but like in this hypothetical, the only things affected are babies and third worlders, the bottom rungs of society. So
Not even
like,
our society, a different society.
exactly.
Okay,
So in the end, it's a
my
net
audio is
positive.
peaking so much I gotta stop screaming.
Okay, but like either way though. It's just a net positive in the world. Yeah, you have to forsake a few brown people to make the rest of the world happy and a few
Or
babies,
worse,
but come on.
black.
If you're pro-abortion, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. And think about it. When it's Halloween, what do you hope to see in your bag? Nestle. Exactly.
Well, I thought you were gonna say crack cocaine, but yeah, Nestle was probably in fifth place.
This is in Florida. Why would there be crack cocaine?
And you don't know where this closet's at. Shout out to Hurricane. Which hurricane are we on?
Which hurricane are we on? Probably like six or Andrew. Probably Andrew Winterlick.
Um, I don't know if we're allowed to say that name actually.
Uh, we're we're wait, what? That's a name? I just came up with some random thing I saw online.
I don't know, but there's some guy with a very long nose outside my window. He's threatening to kill me after you said that name.
Damn. It's Winder Dick. Anyway. But yeah, so today we're gonna be talking about like there is like a certain truth to it though, isn't there? That when you're a large corporation, everyone's gunning for you, and it's harder to because like think about economies of scale. Like yeah,
Hmm.
you have like a significant amount of capital, um, international reach, a lobbying
Yep.
arm, thousands of employees, well-paid
Yep.
executives. Oftentimes, even entire towns dedicated to just your survival, like DuPont, where in Michigan. What just happened to your
Hold on,
audio?
Tragic. I need to step out of the closet for a second. I need to take a call.
But yeah, DuPont.
We back?
Yeah, in Michigan, they had an entire town basically that was built to DuPont. Everyone worked there. The local magistrate, basically the entire town existed to serve this one company. So, like,
Well,
imagine.
okay, I'm not going to defend DuPont. I applied there multiple times to work there, and they ghosted me every time, so they can go to hell. Actually,
Why do they need a janitor?
who doesn't need a Jenny?
Dude, all they gotta do is open the door and then just let the chemicals flood the floor and they're clean.
You know, I can't deny that.
Yeah, but basically, it would let companies kind of get away with a little bit of like people if people want to leave the company, they have to leave the town. It gives them an outsized amount of power. But I mean, but like, think
Well,
about how hard it is for them though. They have all these decisions they have to make. They can affect thousands of lives, and oftentimes they have to make decisions that can go against their best interests. Like I've never heard of a company making a decision to make less money because you know
not
how
only
because
that,
like imagine what they could do with all the money, all the people they can help, all the fat
exactly.
bonuses they can give to the executives.
Look what they do with our money. Think about it. A lot of these towns, especially you see in the rural areas, they would have absolutely no economy, no industry if it wasn't for these companies sacrificing, thinking, oh no, we don't know if we're going to make profit margins if we set up in this area where there's literally nothing. But they give these people an opportunity to make money where there would otherwise be no jobs except like agriculture and like fucking your cousin and stuff like that.
I didn't know that was a job. Also, hold on. Okay, time to start licking some boots. Okay, but we will talk about that. Like on the one level, you are actually right. They do actually bring jobs because in that area, what it would be all agriculture, and they did bring an opportunity. But that comes, it came with the power of what they're doing.
Well, no, they don't bring in the agriculture. They take the people who would be doing agriculture and they would be giving them real jobs. It's like, who needs stupid crops and plants and all that stuff when you could be working with metal, inhaling mercury vapors into your lungs, like, getting asbestos into like all nooks and crannies of your respiratory tract, all that stuff. That builds character. Those are real skills. No one how to till a farm. That's useless. What are we, third
Well,
worlders with
no.
like
To be fair,
13?
to be fair, at a certain point, there's only so much farming people can do. So there is a point. There is a slight point for that. Like companies do
I
end up
think
bringing a lot of value to agricultural community. They bring in investment, and then think about like local places that are rural. They oftentimes don't have infrastructure like roads and things. So the company would end up building those in order to facilitate the transfer of their own products. So it does actually help out the companies coming in a little bit, right?
Trust me, people aren't licking their boots enough. It just doesn't make sense. What they're doing is very selfless, and yet every time one mistake happens, think about it.
Oh no,
CEO of a big
we're dropping the sarcasm just for a little bit. Don't worry. Right now, I'm being serious.
oh no no, I'm being serious too. So think about it. You're a CEO of a big company, and like, okay, you're one person. You've got multiple people who are hired to advise you, keep you in the loop of what's going on in your company, but you can only know what they tell you, and those people can only know what their underlings tell them, and so on and so forth. And then suddenly, when somewhere down the chain of command, someone makes a massive fuck up. Now all of a sudden, you're a horrible person to everybody, and it's your fault for not having the solution down in like 5 seconds. You could have been on vacation when this happened. You weren't even thinking about it. And then all of a sudden,
Also, to be fair,
20,000.
sometimes it takes a while just to even learn what's going on, and along the way, you need to make like you might be able to make immediate decisions, or more than likely,
Exactly.
it might be something that you didn't even know was a problem at all, because someone down further down is like, "Oh, I'll handle this to make the big man proud of me," and then they just royally fuck it. Like, think about it. How many times do people at our job you tell them to do something, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know how to do this," but I don't want to ask my manager because I don't want them to think I'm stupid. So let me solve it on my own. So I'm gonna get that in props, you know. And your manager walks up to you and says, "Hey, you could have done it this way, infinitely better." You know what I mean?
Hell, I did that today myself.
Yeah. I mean, but when you scale this to the size of a company and to the power that they have, it makes the company seem a lot less evil, and then also you just understand it's more human. But that's actually scarier because if at least if something is evil, they're controlled, they're evil, and they're making decisions to do so. Sometimes things just fuck up, and then like all these moving parts, all these different employees make decisions that collide with one another. It might create a good thing, might create a bad thing, might just obfuscate the bad thing so no one notices for a while, might create a good thing that actually has a negative consequence. It just is literally unpredictable, and that's actually somewhat scarier than the corporation actually being evil. Because if they're evil, then they're doing everything because they want to, not because it just happened.
See, I think the main problem is just basic human psychology when things go wrong, is people always want to find someone to blame when most issues are never actually that simple.
Yeah,
And so there's always got to be something that needs to be scapegoated, whether it's the company itself or the company was shifted onto like a designated whipping boy, all that stuff. But like, the human mind doesn't want to accept that when things go wrong, that sometimes it's blameless, sometimes it was just an inevitability of like you said, a bunch of factors colliding. But
I
again,
I am going to
this,
spit the boot out for a second and also say like there are it's a little bit like systemic racism where there are things that are in place that need to be addressed and then either like oh yeah what did you think was going to happen, but here's the problem: some of these people actually don't think like that. Like people who live in the benefit of systemic race, oh wow, I'm really comparing to systemic racism, really a democrat of me, but I'm being serious. The people who live and benefit from it just literally don't see it and couldn't understand it, and then some people are aware of it and they'll point it out. But like systemic racism, it doesn't actually. There's not really a solution to it that actually addresses it. Think of it this way: the best way to solve systemic racism is to undo everything that's done. But it's already been done, and it's been done by people who aren't the people who would have to suffer today.
exactly, I was just
So
about to
like,
say that the only
technically wouldn't be fair. That's the same thing with the company. It's like the reason the company is the way it is because of years and years of decision making, years and years of
oh,
culture,
oh,
investment go. But then, as we were saying, as I completely forgot what we were saying, yeah, it's all these decision making, it's all these decisions being made, and what was I talking about actually?
um, you were talking about systemic racism.
Oh
We're
yeah,
moving
systemic
into
racism.
fantasy.
It would kind of be unfair actually it was years of culture and years of all these other things that made the company the way it is. So in order to undo it, would put pressure on either the shareholders today, the executives today. Basically, you're asking someone to take a hit who didn't create the original problem. Which
So if you ask me,
there really is no
the real
real
issue,
answer.
the real issue isn't the corporations; it's shareholders and like lobbyists, all that stuff. Well, and the people holding guns to their heads, making sure that every CEO appointed keeps doing things that makes them happy, and it makes it really hard to undo past issues to the point where the only solutions to like dealing with all these things were for the problems to never happen in the first place. But that's obviously not possible.
Yeah. One of the biggest problems with that is also like let's say you had an issue where this company had been dumping a lot of things into the river, right? Now they could spend money and time, which they should, figuring out a way to dispose of it safely, but that would cost manpower, that would cost money, that would cost time, that would cause focus. A lot of people don't understand. There's this term in technology where it's such a fucking white phrase and such a like upper middle class phrase, but when they say something is going to be expensive, they're like, oh, it's only money. But that's how companies think. They said money can be borrowed, money can be made. There's cash flow. There's it's all these things. So it's just money. But when it comes to focus and when it comes to people, like they don't want to spend people's focus away from that. When let's say 1 minute of someone focusing can make them $10,000 in their regular job versus 1 minute of them working somewhere else can make them like a little bit of saving the environment, which even if they want to save the environment, like you mentioned, the shareholders are asking for it. They know they don't bring money. Like how many times do you hear a CEO step down because a company is losing money? And sometimes it's for stuff like COVID. Like they asked for this like a cruise guy, Royal Caribbean. They asked for the CEO to step down because they weren't making money and there was a lot of mistakes being made. Because
Oh
hey,
my God! Someone just entered our closet.
oh hey, Mickey Harrison!
It's the molester. Welcome back. And
No
today I'm
way,
going to be molesting
no way. Oh my
these
God, he's
two
back.
Luke
But
and Dingo.
bathroom is such an honor. I'm here with Pity himself. That's P Diddy without the D.
No.
Are we talking about P.
Yes,
Diddy?
no.
No, we're talking about we're bootlicking actually.
Bootlicking?
Yeah. Okay. Get bathroom up to speed, Pity.
Yeah, so basically we're talking about how there's an unnecessary amount of burden and blame placed on large corporations every time, anytime something like catastrophic or bad happens, that I think is just unfair expectations we're putting on CEOs. Like, for example, you saw when that person is a strong word for this, but the person who died recently at Disney World because they ate some shit they were allergic to. How was
Oh,
that
yeah.
the CEO's fault? Like, to be honest, like,
Mhm.
I'm just we're putting a lot of unnecessary blame and stress
And I
on the
know
owners of.
I know Pity's putting a lot of sarcasm in his voice, but we actually already did the sarcasm part, and we're actually defending corporations a little bit now. We're saying how it would actually be better if they were evil, because that means they could control what's happening. Instead, it's a collection of people and how their different interests, their different personality, their different like ability, they're colliding, and like sometimes it creates good things, sometimes bad things, sometimes good things that appear to be bad, or bad things that appear to be good. And right now, it's talking about how CEOs actually do take a lot of blame for things that they don't really control. Like when COVID happened, the CEO of Carnival basically got fired because he did he did keep the cruises going, but they were hemorrhaging money and they couldn't pay for people. Like let's be honest, if they don't make money, they actually can't pay their people. Just straight up.
Sure.
True.
I mean, people.
It's
It's like we don't see. It's like we don't see the employee as a human. Like we just see him as some sort of NPC that you press A to talk to, and he gives you a fucking like candy bar.
yeah,
That's not how.
but also it's like it's true. It's fiscally irresponsible that they didn't have this ready. But let's be honest, who actually could have predicted this and actually be ready for it? Like there's plenty of companies that could, but that's not common, especially in Fortune 500, because the shareholders are like, "Hey, yo, where are my tendies at?"
But why didn't Carnival's CEO try to reorient his policy to better fit the COVID situation?
Well,
like
they were
maybe
trying.
he would have
Well,
said,
think about it. They were trying. Like they had their best people on it. But okay, for a Carnival, what would their solution have been? Like, what was actually what do you guys think would be actually a good solution to what Carnival was going
instead
through?
of like a cruise, everyone gets their own little boat, and they
That
follow
is
one.
that is so stupid. No, or
Dude, this
they could have given the cruise a private cruise to like a bunch of billionaires. That actually would be fine.
Actually, yeah, that would have been.
The problem
But at the
is
same time,
billionaires already have yachts, so that wouldn't have worked. You know what I mean?
that's the thing, you'd only be able to take advantage of the poorest and the rich people. There really is no solution for a company like that. when
Actually, there
something
is.
like
What?
The solution is you do the cruise for the billionaires, private small fucking cruise, and then you have a Diddy party inside. But you don't. So it entices billionaires to go in the party.
In fact, I did do that during COVID, but I'm just saying it's not accessible to the average billionaire.
I mean, like, you know how much baby oil costs now, especially when Diddy bought all the supply. Also,
Which
by the way,
brand
just
did
to let
you
you know,
buy?
Pity's going to be having to go in a little bit, so it's going to be just me and Bathroom discussing this in a little bit, just to get the listeners ready to be used to not hearing Pity's silky smooth voice. Instead, you're going to be stuck with Bathroom's incel nasally cavity wise.
Soy. You're just calling me soy.
Are we allowed to talk about who the real villains are, or is that off limits?
Who
It's
are the
not
real villains?
We should mention them. I mean, we could low-key lose our podcast.
Again,
All right, well, I'm gonna say it. The real villains of this is not the corporations. It's
Well, they got him.
where did that gunshot come from? We're in the closet. Like, how?
sorry about that. That was actually wrong.
You know what's crazy? The closet door didn't even open. You just got sucked into the ground somehow.
Yeah, but you know, I've had a change of heart. Actually, it kind of is the CEOs that are evil. Now that I think
Why is
about
there a
it.
light blinking on your neck?
Don't question it. Do not turn off the lights, or you might.
By
see
the
it
way,
below.
listeners, 100%, we aren't using the excuse that we're recording in a closet to make up for our shitty audio quality. The shitty audio quality actually came first.
I mean, dropping sarcasm. I'm literally in a closet right now.
I mean, yeah, that's me too.
But you do know who the CEOs are, though. They're Indians.
That's actually true. Look at the CEO of LinkedIn, the CEO of Google, the CEO of Microsoft. But here's the problem, though. If you think about it, the type of person who wants to become a CEO, okay, we're gonna go down a company level by level and explain, like, in a way that makes everyone understand exactly why things happen. Think about it.
Okay.
We'll start with CEO. A CEO, they didn't get there because they're not ambitious. They're ambitious. They want to make their mark on the world. So sometimes they will take huge risks with huge downsides because the type of person who can become a CEO is the type of person who can gamble. CEO is not a stable job. Trying to become a CEO is even less stable job because you might make enemies. People would want to become CEO, so they'll try to drag you down, potentially getting you fired from the company. You're a gambler if you're a CEO, and you like to make big decisions. So because of that, a CEO might swing for the fences like, oh, this idea might have horrible consequence, like DuPont. They're like, oh, we're going to do this idea that might work instead of like this thing that's going to be boring, lose a lot of money, and then like it's not just the money, it's also like the reputation. They're like, oh, I lost them a bunch of money. True, I did save the environment, but they didn't care about that. They don't got no tendies.
I agree, but I'm gonna let you guys continue that. Your boy Pity's got to step out.
Enjoy the party.
My man.
Enjoy the party.
Disney.
Enjoy the party.
Thank you, thank you. I'll bring you guys back some souvenirs.
Okay, well, yeah, I need another one. Mine kind of ran away. I mean, what?
All right, cool. Just text me the number, and you know which number, and I'll bring them straight to your door.
Yeah, 911.
Exactly. Wait, hold up.
All right. Anyway, see you, Pity.
Yeah, Pity.
Yeah, but anyway,
Bring
like
back
CEO types, they want to make the mark on their world, so they would be trying their best to, it's a risky decision, but they think it might give them a little bit of notoriety. It'll make them stand out. So that's kind of, it's not a good thing. Let's be clear. While we're bootlicking, we're not eating the boot. We're just licking it. So these are reasons for why they might these things would happen, but not like excusing them. Let's go to the next level. Let's go down like the VPs, the vice presidents, the presidents, and other non-CEO types, but they're still up there. You want to take it away, Bathroom?
Sorry, I have something in my mouth right now, but let's see. The VP. Okay. Whenever I hear the words vice president, I'm immediately reminded of the American vice president, which is basically just a ceremonial job. It holds
well, technically, it's like a co-CEO. They do also actually help the CEO.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting it. But in terms of company, the VP is a very covenant, and they, like you said, they do help the CEO. Now, I'm not really well informed, if you want to say, on intercompany dynamics.
My guy, you're literally the VP of this company.
True, but we only have 2 employees, you and me.
Oh yeah, Pity's a more contractor.
I was going to say slave, but anyways, the point is, the VP, is he closer to the employees? Is he someone who acts, I know he doesn't act like a middleman, but between him and the board and the employees, what's his role here? Because I feel like the closer you get to a position of power and still are, close with employees, that's how culpable you are. Because you interact with the employees. You should be able to not dictate policy, but to push policy. It's your job to, for example, use the example of that woman at Disney, right? Who got she died, right?
Man died.
Oh man, that was a woman, but that man who died he ate
something with peanuts.
Oh, he had a peanut allergy.
Of course.
So
soy.
If you have if you have a penis allergy, there are things in place. Like you cannot blame the CEO because a guy ate fucking penis and died.
The CEO probably doesn't even know what Disneyland serves on their menu.
No, exactly. I don't even think he makes the menu, or even approves the menu for that matter. I don't think he does.
It's so beneath him, yeah. Will not be.
And you know what? I'm gonna go even a step further. That guy who probably knew that he had a penis allergy, he probably knew himself that he had a penis allergy. When ordering something, did he not maybe think to ask, if peanuts were in the dish or whatever.
Okay, no. They did actually say that they asked. They said, "Oh, if there are peanuts in this, I'm allergic," and they said, "Oh, it has no peanuts." And then, okay, you took a little chomp of the boot.
Okay, that my friend, is what we call an employee fuck up. Kind
Yeah.
of like when you order like chicken tenders on from fucking Chick-fil-A, and then they come up and they give you a bag of like horse dicks instead. Am I gonna blame the CEO because I got a bag of horse dicks instead of my chicken tenders? No, of course not. I'm gonna blame the employee for fucking up my order so blatantly. You go into a Denny's and you ask for a steak. It goes in one place and it comes out burnt and blacker than fucking Pity's asshole after a Diddy party. Is that the Indian guy who's running Denny's fault? No, of course not. It's the cook. So how can we place blame on people who, as you said, VP, CEO, CFO, CP, like any of these people in high positions of power, and they don't even fucking know what's going on at the business, not business level, at the literal business,
At the
at like
back of the kitchen. They don't know what's going on in the back of the kitchen. They don't even know where the kitchen is. All they know is that it's in Florida, and that's it.
they might not even know it's in Florida. To be the point being
What?
is that at the end of the day, fuck it, they should pay less taxes. You know what I said? That's what.
Okay. That is not the answer to this. No, we're not.
That
Bro, take the boot out of your mouth, okay? We said we just licking. Why you swallowing? Why you swallowing? Dude, you doing tricks on it.
Wait. I know. Just let me. So I don't know if you've heard this, but this news came out just yesterday. I know you're like an informed guy in the like business world, but Norway is a country that has a lot of billionaires per capita, and Norway, if you didn't know, just last week introduced new regulation or introduced a new law where they basically, if you made over 163 like the rich of the rich, like 163 million dollars a year, if you made over this amount of money, there was like a tax hike of like 35% or 40%. And you know what that did? What happened?
They all left.
They all left, and that tripled the economy of Norway. And we haven't even seen the full effects of that yet, but we're starting to see now. And they're trying to entice them to come back. So, bro, I'm just saying right now. Imagine if America hiked taxes for the 1% by like 60.
That's what we should be doing.
Why? They
Um,
leave. They leave and
Why not? Why not? Just let it happen. Just take it away. Just take away a little bit. Just a little bit.
Okay. I mean, if they want to give it to me, sure, yeah, of course.
But also as it stands. Yeah, I mean, but we still need money. And then if we like take, because if they have the most amount of money and we never take any of it, we're literally just putting the burden on people who just can't use it, and then that just dwindles more and more. Because think about upper mobility. Because it's kind of like if we have a culture or like a country that allows upper mobility, technically, then we really don't want to incentivize taxes. I mean, we do. There's already tax benefits for the rich, but like, we don't want to make it easier to not pay taxes at the highest level. Because then we're basically guaranteeing that our system is going to only lose money.
Right.
And it's like I said before, when you weren't here with Pity, which is that it's like a systemic racism. The solution hurts people today who weren't part of the original problem, who put us where we are. It would have to put, and unfortunately, unlike systemic racism, billionaires do these days actually are going to have to take the burden because, like, at a certain point, the upper level of income does need to be increased, or the amount of taxes leveled on the highest level do need to start being increased because of how many people are filling out the ranks. You know what I mean? People say millionaire and billionaire, but like, there's plenty of people who retire with pensions that make them millionaires and billionaires. Like,
They shouldn't.
millionaires and billionaires aren't as uncommon as you think, nor as glamorous. Because think about it, millionaire and billionaire just dictate a number. It doesn't dictate a lifestyle. It dictates maybe an ability for a lifestyle, but also billionaire is assets. They might have money.
Yeah.
It might be in stock. It might be in real estate they can't sell. It might be in private stock for a company that they own, but that only brings home like maybe $20,000 a year in cash. Like, what are they going to do? Sell their shares? They can't do that. There's no private market. So things like that, it's just like, I'm not shilling for billionaires and millionaires, by the way. I'm just pointing out that that term itself doesn't describe what you think it does. True, all the people with the super yachts are billionaires, but not all billionaires have super yachts.
That's a good point. But I think so. Do you think it's just what jealousy?
About what?
It's the idea that these people can live a lifestyle, not that they're actually living it.
Oh, 100%. It's the ideal. It's the implication. It's like you being able to have that much. Like, think about it. There is a certain level to it. If a single person is able to garner a lot more value than the average person, then they have to be it's like asymmetrical. So what would balance it out? Either they have a significant amount of ability, in which case, most people are like, yeah, you should make it. Like a freaking neurosurgeon, yeah, you should make that money. You have an outsized benefit to the community. Like, oh yeah, the president, yeah, it makes sense. They should be a billion. Okay, maybe not, but maybe not that one. But like, at least makes sense. Like the level of impact on your job means something.
Actually,
level of impact from time to time.
Yeah. Time to time.
Yeah. Or you're corrupt and you use illegitimate tactics, or you were born in a good place where people already had that money. In which case, you didn't earn it, so why can't I have it? And obviously, yeah, they don't deserve it, but neither do you. They have one thing more than you did, which was being born to it, and that's one thing more than they have on you. So technically, they have one thing more on you. Like, what are you going to do? Say you deserve it more because you weren't born with it? Then you're just at the same place they are, but just reversed.
Yeah. But what about then? So then, how can we? Okay, let me ask you a question. How do we bridge this divide?
What do you mean?
I mean, there was that. I mean, Occupy Wall Street was a very contentious period where it seemed to be that there was a 99%, there was a 1%, and you just brought up the implicated value of a job. For example, a neurosurgeon is deserving of as well. But could you say also a CEO is equally deserving as a neurosurgeon? In fact, even maybe more so.
So here's how it is. A CEO is single-handedly making the most complex decisions, and everyone basically brings it. Here's how a CEO works. Everyone brings him information about the decision that needs to be made, and they make the decision. It's a big burden, and they do need someone with expertise. But here's the thing: it's like the most ultimate knowledge economy job, because they're working for like a few. Okay, maybe not a few seconds, but they're working. They're not like working. They're like thinking, making a decision. And when you say, "Oh, my job is to make a decision," you think, "Oh, that's not real work," because we're still like post-industrial. Our idea of knowledge work is inherently that it's lesser.
Right.
But brain power also burns calories.
So you think it's a physicality thing?
Yeah. Listen. The brain also burns. Yo, that's a quote. I'm gonna start saying that. The brain also burns calories. When people say like, "Oh, knowledge work isn't real work," it's like, "Oh, all you're doing is thinking all day." Like, hey, the brain burns calories.
But you know what's the most ironic about that, though? The guys most willing to support, or not support, like tax hikes for billionaires and millionaires, are the guys who are working in, like coal mines, industrial jobs, that sort of stuff, because these guys are most likely to vote for like basically conservative parties around the world, also just in the U.S. Like they're, the average white coal guy is going to be a Republican. He's going to eat up Mitt Romney's. Advocation for killing people who make less than, I don't know, like 40,000 a year. So,
well, I'd like to argue that it's actually different. Here's my interpretation of it, and as a financial analyst, I think I have a little bit of backing this. I think Republicans, especially ones that are more blue collar, understand that the impact on taxes would cause differences to where they get their money from. Like people who work for contractor know that, like, hey, if they have to pay more in taxes, they might pay us less. They might cut our hours. They might raise prices, which would create less projects for us. And they're not going to take a cut of the money they bring home. So our cut gets a bit smaller.
I see. So, but do you really believe that?
But think about it. For liberals, they work jobs where it's spread much more even. If a company spends more money, it really doesn't have an impact on people enough to notice.
Right. No. Yeah. You're right. It's
Yeah.
true. It's
Now,
gonna.
going back to what you said about the CEO and the work done, like, yeah, I know I was shilling a little bit, like, hey, the brain burns calories, but
So to speak.
it's just when the CEO messes up that people are upset. It's like, hey, this company is losing a lot of money, and then this guy still got his bonus for some reason. That's the thing, and that's also the level of money the company makes compared to the average worker. It's like, yeah, the CEO makes 20 billion times more money than like the average employee, and then the average employee is struggling. Like, hey, why not redistribute that away a little bit? And here's the problem. The problem is companies actually did used to care for their employees. They did actually used to give them more money, like, and the CEO didn't make that much more. But now we've gotten to the time where I think again it's balanced out. People are less likely to stay at a company. So if there's more attrition, you're less likely to invest in every employee, even if you want to. It just doesn't make financial sense, which also sucks. But because it contributes to why people move around a lot. But if I'm being honest, there's a phrase that people don't quit jobs, people quit managers. So people just don't like the people they're working with and they'll leave. And that's happening more and more often, because the cultures are changing. Like, it's a cultural thing. Like I said, people today are suffering for decisions made by people in the past. And because
So
of that more attrition, people are less likely to invest in the people, and that's how more money gets funneled to the top. It's like, oh, well, we're not going to pay our people more because they're more likely to leave. Let's just funnel it up. And then it kind of become like this kind of default position, because like at a certain point, if you're a CEO level person, why would you accept less money than someone in a similar position than you? Like, oh, I work at DuPont. The guy at freaking Iron Mountain, he makes 52 million a year. This position's only paying 10 million. Why? Because they pay their workers more. Why would I work there? I'm a CEO. I got to think about it. For most retail workers, Target or Walmart, if Walmart's paying 35 an hour and Target's paying like 23 an hour, but Target had better deals for their customers and better customer service, and the store is nicer, you're gonna work for Walmart. It doesn't really matter that the people that aren't you are being helped.
I mean, it's also a thing about what you say is the mark, the prestige of the company as well. No, like I think there's a stigma
I
to
don't
it.
think I don't think it's a prestige, because the prestige of being a CEO doesn't matter. These people are already CEOs. Now the question is,
Mhm.
what do they get from the company? Like, true, they might like an individual company, but if the company doesn't pay them what they feel that is normal for that position, because it's like a chicken and egg scenario. The money by default got funneled up, and then monkey see, monkey do. Other companies saw it, and other companies did it, and now we're stuck in
Right.
this cycle where everyone's kind of the same. Like, companies that treat their employees well are the outsiders, and they do well, but they're also not like super visible. Like, Patagonia.
Mm.
Patagonia, no, they make the sweater, they make the vest. Like all the tech bros wear it.
Oh, I think I've seen the
Yeah,
ads.
yeah.
I didn't
So
know.
they're actually not a 501. They're not a 501c, or they're not a public company. They're I forgot what it's called. I think it's a something B3 or something, where it's like a triple bottom line where it's people, profits, and the environment. Like, they pick three things that they care about instead of just money. So because of that, it's in their charter that, like, hey, we might make decisions that make us lose money, but it'll help the environment or help our people. Like, that's actually in their charter. Because most public companies, they're legally supposed to make as much money as they can for the shareholders. That's it. Like
Right.
these MB3 companies, they can add a third thing that they care about, and it's just as important as the money thing. So,
I
like,
mean, but given
Patagonia,
that
the CEO of Patagonia, like, Patagonia is a major brand, massive, and the CEO makes less than most people, but that's because the company cares about people. But again, that's like unusual for CEO. Yeah, he's making a lot. He's making like 2 to 3 million. I should Google this actually. Hold on, I'm just talking my ass. I don't actually know how much he makes. How much do you think he makes?
I'm gonna say $255,000 a year.
200. That's very low for a CEO of Patagonia. It's still a massive
Patagonia.
brand.
Okay, never mind. His CEO's, I mean, his net worth is 1.2 billion.
No, that's his net worth though. What about his salary? Because that's different.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because your net worth can be something apart from I should be using Google. Why am I using DuckDuckGo?
The so here it is. The total salary range for a chief executive officer of Patagonia is between 187 to $349,000 a year.
Wait, what? It's not even in the millions?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe
So I
salary, but
was
what about with stock options?
yeah, stock options. Like I said, bro, he's a billionaire.
Well, that's an executive. What about chief executive officer? So three, four. That's not a.
Yeah,
Wait, that's really low.
and I was almost right, bro. The 250K median total pay.
That's insane. Okay, well, listeners, think about how crazy I think it is that the CEO only makes less than $500,000 a year. Like that's super unusual for a CEO, especially of a massive company. But that mindset, that little bit of evil that of capitalistic evil I have inside of me, is happening to all CEOs. They're like, yeah, most CEOs make millions. Why am I not doing that? And let's be honest, if you have the abilities for a CEO, why would you not want to make the maximum amount of money you can? It's like a doctor. If they were a doctor and they were a surgeon, they were making $450,000 a year, more than the CEO of Patagonia. And then they're like, "Oh, do you want to work at this local hospital?" It's the same, and like we're really inclusive with our our patients. We talk to them a lot. They feel really happy, but you make $110,000 a year. That's like the price of an average person who didn't go to med school. At a certain point, you're like, "Hey, I went to med school. I shouldn't be making less than people who didn't do as much effort, aren't as skilled as me." Like, there's a bit of pride in there. That's the problem.
I see. Let me ask a question regarding unions. Why why even have them around?
Unions,
Yeah, I mean,
collective bargaining power. If a company is massive, each individual person can only do so much. If they all band together, their voices are big. It's the reason you've heard those like expressions. Would you rather fight a lion or 100 chickens? Well, because like fighting one chicken would be easy. Fighting 100 chickens, now you have to start thinking about it.
yeah, interesting. But I still think maybe fighting a lion is more, you know,
Glorious.
glory. Well, I
Yes.
was gonna say dangerous, but
No, it's more glorious. Well, that's the thing. It's more dangerous. But if we're talking about perception, they might be the same. No, if we're talking about perception, yeah, the lions seem more dangerous. But when you really think about it, they're both the same type of danger, which is the whole point of what's it called?
yeah, you know what? I think I'd fight like 100 cocks. Yeah, I think I'd fight those two.
Anyway, I think this will actually be a multi-part series called the licking the boots in the closet. That's what we're gonna call it because this was a closet episode, or maybe it should be a
Oh, this is
bathroom
the.
episode.
I mean, how long were you guys going on before I joined?
About about 30 minutes.
Oh, so
So
this
this
was
is
like
an
a
hour.
two-part episode. There was like the pity part, and then there was the bathroom part. That was
Yeah,
pretty good.
this you know what? We'll keep it a closet episode just because this is like kind of an off the cuff. Wait, no, this is a bathroom episode. What am I
Right.
doing? This is a bathroom episode because we went the full like hour. Anyway, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to stand up, flush, wipe, and we'll see y'all next time.
Peace.
Peace.